Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and I continue with Dishonored, Blind. Now, even though I suck pretty hard at this game, I'm having a lot of fun, despite that, and I just thought, since my main objective is this way, I thought I would actually go back and explore that side area, and also maybe buy some additional sleeping darts from Griff. All new exhibition, Tivian burial urns. Offices of Dr. Galvani. I was supposed to break in here to get like a sample of the plague, which, Okay, my life would be easier if I took down the guards. Because then I could explore the surroundings more or less in peace. I do have a lot of mana, so I will use this a little bit more. There's another guard that sort of circles around here, and now that the other one is gone, it should be easy enough to take care of him. Though that might be him over here.
There. Help! Just
okay, that didn't work.
Die! Rush it! Got you in the river! Take that!
Okay, so I will break in, not because I want the samples of the plague, but because I want to learn what kind of interesting things he has in his office. But to be honest, before I break in, maybe I can take the guards on the other side and... because there's like a checkpoint? Is he the one in the same? Does he go like from the overlook and then... What? How did I miss him? That's pretty embarrassing, actually. Okay, this is not great. Man, I do suck. I do suck pretty hard at this. So, is there another guard? I don't think so. Obviously there are guards on the bridge, but I don't think there's another guard right here. He was the one that was making the rounds, sort of all around. Property of the City Watch. Tampering or theft will be punished. Okay, but I can disable the power for it. A spring razor trap can be attached to any surface. It will be triggered when an enemy approaches, throwing up a cloud of shrapnel. Yeah, the problem is I don't really care for that because I don't want to kill them. It isn't exactly disabled, so I'm not entirely sure what the point of taking that was. I thought I could disable the light wall from here. A note to Sergeant Hayburn. All the wall of light components have been delivered to your station, and I expect it to be functional before midnight. You have also been provided with several spare whale oil tanks should the need arise. Last, it has come to my attention that various watchmen continue the adolescent practice known as rat burning. Remember, whale oil is not cheap. Please keep your men under control. Captain Kerno. Yeah, but what can I do about it? Like, can I... Okay, I would rewire it, which would... turn it so that it damages my enemies, but again, it would burn them to crisp. I don't want that to happen. Wanted for the murders of various individuals of note, as well as crimes of heresy. Dode, enemy of the city of Dunwall. Reward 5,000 coins for capture or death. The offenses of this man are high crimes under the strictures of the High Overseer, the municipal laws of the City of Watch of Dunwall, and the edicts of our brave Lord Regent in those times of peril. Wanted for various crimes, Slackjaw. The offenses of this man are high crimes under the strictures of the High Overseer. Okay, this just repeats. Is this one for me? I still don't really know. Like, Alt is supposed to be zoom, but it doesn't work. I was supposed to have a zoom in my mask? Yeah, zoom, left Alt. But it just simply doesn't work. Maybe I need the upgrade for the zoom to work at all.
Yeah, and the sick ones go into cages and off to the flooded district.
couple of them didn't look too sick.
Can't take chances. If they even look a little green around the gills, it's off they go.
Okay, I don't really need to bother with those, I don't think. Although I would like to read my own wanted poster. Wanted for the most heinous murder of our fair Empress, Jessamine Caldwin. Oh, great.
Nothing after all. I'll get to the bottom of this. Did you hear Morris was dragged off by the overseers? I guess everything's all right. Someone help me out! For the watch! Take it, bastard! Shove you in the river! Hit him!
Wanted for the most heinous murder of our fair Empress, Jessamine Caldwin, Corvo Atano still at large. 30,000 coins for capture or death. Reward will be paid by the City Watch in addition to rewards offered by the private citizens or outstanding organizations. The offenses of this man are high crimes under the laws of the City Watch and the edicts of our brave Lord Regent. Interesting that it doesn't mention... apparently I do not qualify to be a heretic. Those other posters have a mention of the strictures of the High Overseer, but I do not. I'm just a regular High Traitor, I guess.
Here to shop?
Okay, I'll go in here. Just to see what I can find here. Entering hostile zone. Hatters fired the first shot, but Bottle Street Gang fired the last.
Word is, he's like a phantom. An army of shadows in front of him. That guy down? Ain't he just a boss? Like Slackjaw? No, this is one odd bird. Consorts with crazies, does rituals and the like, bone charms and such. You sound afraid. Damn right I am. Down ain't no ordinary man. Touched by the outside ways, given dark powers. It's slit your throat across the room. Well, that did a leg up for sure. It's no coincidence that most men won't even whisper his name. Is it true that he lives in the flooded district? With them weepers and wild hounds? That's what they say. Perfect place for a paid killer to hide.
Okay, this is a new location, so maybe I'll get
There is
you...
a strong drink made here. I tried it once. Distilled from river crusts, but I tasted it. The bottles spray out around the distilleries. They are inseparable. When the last of life is gone, darkness will fall. There is a strong drink made here. I tried it once. Distilled from river crusts, but I tasted it.
Distillery Master Key. The Elixir Black Market. We've seen a widespread looting since the month of clans. It wasn't prevalent at first, but it's a pattern now. There's an outbreak in one of the districts and the watch moves in. We quarantine buildings, put down reapers and deport anyone showing early signs. Afterwards, the death counters come through and the lawyers write up the paperwork to transfer the ownership of the businesses and homes at Parliament's discretion. Soon after, like clockwork, the gangs begin tearing the place apart. There's a fairly robust black market now, because everyone wants elixir and most can't afford it. Even Sokolov's brand won't help if you've already got the plague, but getting a regular dose is your best chance if you want to avoid contracting it. Some of the gangs have taken to buying small amounts and watering it down before selling it, and I have to admit, if I didn't have an officer's ration, I would be buying from them. Jared Corey, a City Watch, 3rd Regiment.
Shut up.
Okay, it's a bit broken.
Keep away. or I'll slit your record for you.
Okay, so this one's not hostile. Again, that's pretty weird. And it seems a little arbitrary to me, oftentimes. Because I'm literally on their turf now. You'd think they would object to that.
Cross the line, and you'll have your throat cut. Stay away. Cross the line, and you'll have your throat cut. It's gonna feed you to the rats.
Okay, this really didn't work.
Kick in his teeth. Keep away, or I'll slit your record for you. Blow off, chopper. What was that? What's this business? Is anyone there? Get back. I'll stick you. Somebody, give me a hand. The fuck are you looking at? You blow off, luck, chopper. When you're this handsome, you don't need luck. Face like a hagfish. Pay up. Don't be sour.
Say, when's Slackjaw coming down?
Not till the next batch of elixirs done. You'll want to check on things.
Then you better get all your shit together, huh?
Everything's fine. I run the still like I run a game of Nancy. Yeah. Now that's any fools settled in over here?
What?
That's it. He's gone.
Why didn't it work? Sometimes I am perfectly behind someone, and yet I cannot.
Who's that?
Somebody, get over
There is another one further down there. Oh, come on.
Damn it! Come on, let's get this guy. You fight for shit. Ah!
A recipe for Crackston. I'm coming tomorrow to check on the batch. Make sure you're wearing pants this time and stick to the recipe. 1 part Sokolov's elixir, 1 part beach gum paste, 2 parts sugar water, that's it. The more of the real shit you cut in, the less there is to spread around and the less coin I make. This ain't a charity. Slackjaw.
Not to the Abbey or the office of the High Overseer. One and the other. Where they train the Overseer to be real. Crazy. He just wants to know where his brother's gone. He sneaks it. You know Eddie. Boy, get at it when he's sober.
Brimsley job. Hitting the dumbwaiter all night.
Yeah. So he goes from room to room. Kids sleeping. An overseer giving a lecture to the kids. A couple guys training with those hounds.
Stuff you'd expect.
But it gets weird. Some kind of machinery. Then a woman laughing. Just laughing and laughing. Then music. A kind of plinky, plonky sound. That's what spooked him.
You sure he wasn't drunk?
Says he still hears it at night. He never did find his brother.
That's a knee slapper, Rodney. Okay, I got one for you.
Well, give it.
Okay, here goes. The nobleman laid with the scullery maid, so loudly they made quite a ride. The nobleman's wife took the butchering knife and carved herself some peace and quiet.
Oh, I get it. The wife done cut them both, right?
Yeah, that's the gist. Now it's your turn.
Oh, let me think. Okay. Yeah, I got one. Ready?
I'm listening.
There once was a sailor from Morley who fancied a woman most sorely. He gave her his cash, she gave him a rash, and that's all. There isn't no Morley.
Alright, you win. You win.
Well, I know 100 of these old rhymes. My mommy used to tell them at me.
Huh?
Ah! Somebody give me a hand!
Yeah, that was pretty botched.
My mommy used to tell them at me.
They're going to find the body though, which is kind of a problem. But I'll worry about that later.
Definitely somebody about it. Watch it.
Keep an eye out. We got company. Someone's still prowling.
Someone wants to get hurt.
Gotta keep my eye on.
This.
Definitely somebody about it. Watch it.
Someone's still around.
Someone's still crawling around. Gotta keep my eyes open.
Yeah.
Let me
Someone's
see what's
still
going on over here.
Are you asleep? Get up. I know you're here. It's just a matter of time, buddy.
Bootleg tale instructions. Attach an empty elixir vial to the spout before you turn the thing on. Turn the valve on, collect the full vial, repeat until empty. Do not break vials, do not spill my elixirs. No free swings. Those are interesting creatures. Elixir accounts. Tabard family 4 doses, Crumbling family 3 doses, Bread family 5 doses, Golden Cat 2 crates, Bitterleaf Almhouse 1 crate, Ednac 1 dose, Luther 1 dose, Black Sally 2 crates, Griff past due, Trace Flannery 2 doses, Pratchett family 5 doses, Nellie and Morrison Sullivan. No, Nellie and Morris Sullivan 2 doses. Yeah, they are dead. Both of them are dead. I found the note from the wife. The rat plague. For over a year I have studied this cursed plague, collecting and dissecting rats by the thousands. Given their rapid gestation and maturation cycle, it has been possible to breed them for numerous generations. The rodents themselves seem immune to the plague, but they pass it readily between members of their own species, perhaps through mites. The blood of the rats tells its own story, allowing me to gauge the number of generations that a given group of rats have lived with the plague. As such, a nagging question remains. The rats collected in the poorest part of town, in the slums, exhibit the oldest strains of the plague, while those found near the docks, where the foreign plain-bearing rats would presumably have entered the city, exhibit a younger strain of plague. Could this mean that the rats were transported to the slums in some way that is not obvious? I will continue my research. If nothing else, I am living proof that Sokolov's elixir and Piero's remedy are very effective at protecting against the plague if one consumes enough of the stuff. Okay, this is actually pretty interesting because it seems to suggest that the plague may have specifically been targeted at poor people. Like, it didn't really originate in the port, as you would presumably imagine, if it were a foreign-born plague that arrived from that other continent. So is that it for this location? It seems so. Is anyone dead from that? Because I ran through the tripwire. I sort of realized that's going to happen too late to actually stop that. Okay, I think everyone lives. No, but there were supposed to be bone charms here, right? Plague Affinity. Getting damaged by Weepers gives a small amount of mana. Okay, that's definitely interesting. I'll consider that.
Attention, Dunwall citizens. John Clavering Boulevard has been designated a restricted travel area. Any citizens are liable to search or imprisonment at the discretion of the City Watch.
It's just ridiculous. Stupid rats. Plague. Elixir. Bunch of crap.
Okay, there's another guard deeper into the... Damn it. I walked straight into his field of view. Okay, now I should be able to explore. Galvani building key. That's, I think, the Spy Master. What even is that? Feeding log, assorted human remains, strong appetite, Tivian pears, rats uninterested, potted whale meat, eaten, human torso, no trouble finding corpse parts, no feeding, aggression increased, incident of cannibalism, incident with previous maidservant, will withhold feeding until the first day of the month of darkness. Okay, there's a bunch of rats in here. Oh, that's a literal hand. Customs and food of Morley. Born and raised in Bristol, I spent my formative years in our smaller cities before settling in magnificent Dunwall. There, in capital city, I learned to appreciate the finer things. When the opportunity arose to document my travels to Serkonos, Tivia, and finally Morley, I left my position as a clerk for the late Lord Estermont. Perhaps, like so many in Dunwall, I suffer from being excessively cultured, but I found Morley disappointing. Over the course of this journal, I will explain why I found the Festival of Churners to be tiresome, despite the high banners, bare feet, and red robes, and why their renowned jellied ox tongue is something I will be struggling to forget for many years to come. Avoiding the rat plague. Much of the public still harbors false belief related to the plague. It is not true that the bile from the river crusts will protect against the contraction of the disease. Nor is it true that crushed Morley orchids act as a remedy. Although it's speculated that both of those ingredients are used in both Sokolov's elixir and Piero's remedy, consumption of these products before exposure to the plague constitutes the only known means of resisting the disease. Further, the Abbey of the Everyman warns against superstitious practices. Not only is it ineffective to burn 2 hagfish and a cat together, inhaling the vapors while chanting the names of the plague dead, but it's also considered heresy by the overseers and will be met with the full measure of the Abbey's laws. Tell your neighbors and practice those things yourself. Avoid contact with the infected, consume your ration of elixir daily, preferably in the morning, and report anyone suspected of carrying the plague. Everyone must work together to stop the spread of this dreaded contagion. Restrict the restless hands, which quickly becomes the workmates of the outsider. Unfettered by honest labor, they rush to sordid gain, vain pursuits, and the deeds of violence. Of what value are the hands that steal and kill and destroy? Instead, put your hands to the plow, the fork, and the spade. For even the lowliest labor that is righteous squeezes the muscles as a sponge, rinsing impurities from the mind and body.
The abbey is dark, its doors are locked, and no more the great sermons. The overseers have taken to the streets. Can you hear them too, crying out in the dark? The thinkers of the city. They devise new ways to tame the elements.
Did you touch the door handle to Dr. Galvani's lab?
Yeah, I think so.
Then you have to scrub. The rats get their vital essences everywhere, the doctor said.
Vital essences? Does that mean guts?
I think so. So your hands need scrubbing. You're unclean.
Unclean? That's nonsense. Wait a minute. Who's that?
So much for stealth.
Someone help! Help! I need help!
I've been invited to a soiree at the Boyle estate. Of course I won't attend. The 28th day of the 7th month, the month of high cold, is the day I met Anton Sokolov at the academy. Why would I tarnish the anniversary of the most important day of my life by licking aristocratic boots? I have no time for fools. I will be solving the riddle of the plague. Perhaps I'll raise a cup of Tivian red. What kind of mechanism is that?
No!
I'm sorry, but
I need help!
I have to take you down for a second. Before you alert any more guards. door to Clavering Boulevard. Okay, so it's just another exit. I need to look around to find a code for the safe. Wait, he said in his journal that the 28th day of the 7th month is like the most important day in his life, because that's where he met Anton Sokolov. So let's try that as a code. Dear Miss Brenton, when cleaning my study, I ask that you can constrain your efforts strictly to the floor. Please, at all costs, refrain from attempting to clean or arrange my bookshelf. In fact, it would be best if you kept away from it altogether. Otherwise, I'll have to reconsider the terms of your employment. Since I'll be out of the city for a few days, I've left the next week's pay as well. The bank was closed, so I'm afraid it's short by half. You can count on me for the remainder next week, of course. Whale physiology. Bullrat fetus. Okay, I can throw that at people, which perhaps I shouldn't. Galvani Academy notice. The latest case should arrive within a week, containing all the components you need. Be careful with the white phosphorus. You can't getting Fossy Joe like the tanners at the edge of the city, poor bastards. Sorry you have to practice in secret. The vivisectionist should be celebrated, revered even. Cutting up rats should be done in a town square, with a crowd of eager students taking notes. Not in some dirty little secret room hidden behind a wall of books. Anyway, lucky for you to have an old friend who never left the academy. Let me know what else you need, and remember, it might be a month before I can put together another shipment. Artemis Moore, procurement clerk and provisioner. Next time you're nearby, come in for an afternoon. We've stayed fairly insulated from the plague, since so few come and go here, and we've got quite the stock of Tivian brandy. the Leviathan's Sorrow. Little is known of Pacotti, credited with the series of pamphlets arguing against the whaling trade. While he is gifted, his views are nonsense and threaten the economic underpinnings of the Empire. 01 Enslavement, on the breeding and husbanding of whales versus hunting the beasts in the wild after a natural and free life cycle. Pacotti offers no solutions for where these massive malevolent creatures might be pastured. 02 Dissolution, laments on the destruction of social bonds between herd members. Pacotti actually uses the term families. 03 Harmony, drivel on the aesthetic wonder of what is in reality the great and terrible ocean that ever threatens to swallow us, includes arguments of the gentle nature of the brutes, a notion refuted by seamen who returned to shore, wide-eyed with the tales of whale savagery. 04 Disruption, here Pacotti is on his weakest footing, issuing up feverish warning against displacement or transference of natural beasts from their native environments. To be honest, it's pretty hard not to be savage when you're getting stabbed with multiple harpoons. You know, in conflicts between us and the whales, we have always been the ones who started it. Okay, I read about the rat plague already. Rat behavior and extermination used to be you'd go out with a bag, a stick with a nail on one end, and catch as many rats as you could in one night. The city watch paid by weight. My husband Benjamin and I mostly worked alone, and we got by. If we found a place where the rats were real bad, sometimes we would hire a crew of street brats to work with us, the younger ones who didn't make trouble. We would pay them with bread and apple cider. Once the plague came, the rats were different, meaner, bigger, and little quicker. You had to watch yourself. If you got cornered, they would turn and the swarm would come back at you. I barely got away with my skin a few times down in the sewers. The bites hurt afterwards, but it was the sound they made that stayed in your dreams at night. It got more dangerous and the city watch started paying better, but that didn't last long before after a while too many people had been striped clean trying to fill up a bag. One slip and they would be all over you, knowing and trying to chew down to the bone. That's how I lost my poor Benji.
Obviously the plague rat is distinct from the ordinary rat, but in what respect? Its size and the coarseness of its fur, and I believe in intelligence, although the experiments there are not complete. Coriander's zoological survey describes only the ordinary rat, which means plague rats have only been here for 5 or 7 years at most. This was not a gradual migration. Could they have been introduced on purpose? Perhaps by a foreign power.
Door to Clavering Boulevard. Okay. But before I leave, there is still the secret lab. Okay, I'll pick up the viscera, even though it's probably not the wisest thing to be carrying it around. But maybe besides committing mass murder, I can actually do something interesting with it. He has... It's not like it's special in any actual way, I don't think. He has plenty of those plague rats to dissect further on, if he needs to. Oh, actually that's even worse, because it wants me to contaminate their counterfeit elixir with the plague, but they are giving that to people who are already too poor to afford the regular one. That's insane. I'm not going to do that. Sewer capacity in the month of nets. I've been asked to tell the problem, so here it is. It's been every year that we work like men gone mad during the month of nets. I don't hardly see my family. It's bad enough that the work is clogged with the trash from the catch, pieces of crates and nets, but the water smells of hagfish guts too. We got to get it done before the month of rain, or you know what. It ain't like we get help from those pricks in civil engineering either. Been at this job for nigh on 28 years, and I've never seen one of them come below, except to measure will it hold when they go putting up one of their fancy new bridges. So these last 3 years have been the worst, and here's why. It's the river crusts. They moved into the works. We hear a man ahead yell and scream like he's burning up, and we climb up fast. No other choice. Okay, can I close it? I don't think I can. Which might kind of lead that guy into trouble if vivisecting animals is really illegal. To be honest, that's very progressive of this society. You know, vivisecting people has always been a little controversial, but they've been doing that in antiquity on condemned criminals and stuff. But vivisecting animals has only become controversial like in the very modern times. Actually, like in the, you know, late 20th century, actually. Like I guess, you know, probably there were groups who objected to that beforehand. But I mean, it has only been like hugely controversial pretty recently in the sort of greater scope of the history of mankind. I have to say, I didn't really pay that much attention, but that's one of the worst hidden passages that I've seen in my life, like ever, because not only does it have those huge wheels, which you would question the necessity of having wheels on a bookcase in the first place, but there's also this very clear pattern of it swinging open. So, you know, good luck to that guy. He's going to need it if he wants to hide it any longer. But this episode has been long enough, so I'm going to save and end it for now. That's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!